Hi, and welcome to another issue of A Local Business Person. So this is Belinda Jennings. Thank you for coming along today, Belinda.
Thank you.
Belinda and I have known each other for about 18 months now. We're both in the T. Harv Ekker's Quantum Leap program, and she is just such a rocket powerhouse, and you've had an amazing year this year. I can't believe what you've accomplished.
Yes.
And congratulations on, won't spill the beans now, we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yes, it's been an amazing year. We've had some tremendous growth in the business, and we've branched out and really just had a really incredible 12 months of late, especially, and it's been really fortunate for us after lots of research and working out exactly what our mums are wanting.
So, first of all, let's hear about what's the name of your business.
So I run two websites for mums. We have Australian Baby Bargains, which is a pre-loved marketplace. So we've got 75 categories of baby and kids products for sale. It's all free to list, and essentially just think eBay for parents. And then we have Mum Central, which is our newer site. She was launched in December last year, and she's a powerhouse of parenting advice, education, information, recipes, giveaways, and a little bit of fun along the way as well. So, we've got a couple of 100,000 mums around the country in our community, and we're just the go-to place for mums of all ages from all around the country to connect and share online.
Excellent. And even grandmas?
Oh, yeah, plenty of grandmas too. So.
Okay, so just give us a little bit of history about your business. How long have you been in business for yourself, and what were you doing beforehand before you started your business?
Sure. So I've been in business for nearly 5 years now. I was on maternity leave with my first son when I started the business. I was using eBay to sell the gear he'd outgrown, and was horrified at how expensive eBay can be when you're selling. I'd never sold on eBay regularly before, and I started selling all the stuff he'd outgrown. And rather than sit there and make eBay richer, I was on maternity leave and we were down to one wage, and it really was hurting. So I started to sell the gear, and my profits were being eroded with their fees. So I turned to Facebook and started Adelaide Baby Bargains, being based in Adelaide, and went about promoting it to local mums to buy and sell amongst each other, and let's save money. We had 2,000 members in the first month, and it really just took off a lot faster than I expected, and we just rolled with it essentially. Developed a classifieds website and went about promoting it to local mums in town. And very quickly we launched around the country with Australian Baby Bargains, and since then we've just really grown the community, the services that we offer, and just got a really strong brand around the country. So Mum Central was born last year, just because the mums were wanting lots of mum-to-mum advice and information. So we launched Mum Central and started doing lots of articles of information and education, and it's been really successful and well received.
Well, that's excellent. You must be really doing something right, because obviously there's lots of Facebook groups and different areas where people can go to for advice and to connect with other people in a similar situation to themselves. So have you got one thing that you can think of that is the draw card, that people are, to get 2,000 people in your first month, that's amazing. Did you advertise for that as well? So that's all organic, no advertising, word of mouth.
It was the buzz on the street. Like, these mums were talking at school drop-off, and, in mothers groups and in kindy drop-off, and amongst each other about, the stuff they'd bought and sold. And suddenly, these mums were putting money back in their pockets. And I guess that's been the real driver for me growing Australian Baby Bargains, is about, we're here to try and, buy the things we need for our kids. Like, families are spending $20,000 in the first 2 years after having a baby now, some even more, and quite often mum's gone on maternity leave to have the child and
down to one income.
Yeah, down to one income, and it's tough. So I was in the same situation, and so I don't forget how tough it can be when you're on mat leave and you're trying to, do the best that you can. So, that's why it's free to use, and we just encourage our parents to be respectful in the trading, and we've got guidelines that they follow as far as the quality of the products, and turning up when you say you're going to turn up, and don't offer half as much, because I found that on other websites I was using, not naming names, but, there's a culture and they wouldn't turn up or they'd offer you half as much. And it's, I think it's offensive sometimes when, you've paid good money and you just want to get what it's worth back so you can buy the next things that they need.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the values has been really, really quite dominant in what we've done, and that's been, I think, the cornerstone to the success of our brand and our community. Our mums feel protected and they also feel like it's a safe place to come. So we do parenting advice as well. So, they'll write in with a question they've got and we'll post it for them out on our Facebook channel, and our mums will respond with their ideas and their suggestions on how these mums can deal with the situations. And, it's that peer-to-peer connection where the mums are helping other mums, That's what's really powerful. There's a lot of sites that do expert advice really well, and I'm all for that. But there's also that element of mum-to-mum connections, which is where we've come into our own. And, there's something powerful about a mum reaching out and going, oh, look, honey, my 3-year-old does that too. That was me last night.
Yeah.
Try this.
Rather than the experts.
Yeah, that's right. And, something that's tried and proven. And so the mums have options of different things to try because no two kids are the same and everyone parents differently. And so it's working out what works for you.
Yeah, and I guess it's not just what what you're doing is amazing, but it's having that one-stop shop. People really know that there's everything out. You can find any piece of information out there on the internet. Let's face it. You just type it into Google or into YouTube or wherever whatever search engine you prefer, and you can find a plethora of information about it. But it's having that one place that that you can go to, that it's like-minded people in a similar situation who, like you say, have been there, done that before, and people who are supportive. And I guess, especially from the baby bargains point. Sorry.
Yep, baby bargains.
From that point of view, when you're selling, I suppose everyone's in a similar sort of position that you're selling the goods and toys that you no longer want because the kids have grown up and you're ready for the next stage, and other people are in the same position. And it's an amazing thing because people are not only buying, but they can use it to sell. They can see how the process works.
That's
so it's
right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Where did you? So you came up with the idea from not being able to, being disappointed with other
sites,
other platforms out there.
Yes.
So I would imagine to set up something like the 2 sites that you have, there's a lot of tech involved. So were you really tech savvy before, or how have you gone about that?
Yeah, I love technology and I love online. I always knew I would have my own business online. Didn't know what. Fell into baby bargains because I just got frustrated one night with a bill from eBay and just said, I'm not going to spend this money anymore. So I turned to Facebook, which was really new. It's a free platform, and I'd only just joined Facebook. I didn't know a lot about it. So I was no guru on how to build a business on Facebook. But I just used my instinct as a mum. What would other mums want? And I wanted a safe, respectful place to trade. And, I'd had the experience of the other sites and I knew what I didn't want. So I made sure that what we had was what I didn't have those qualities about it.
I hope you're all writing that down, because that is one of the most important things, is that when you're setting any business up or any website, or you're trying to get a message out there to your ideal person that you want to work with, we all tend to think about it from our point of view, what we've got to offer them, rather than looking at it from your client or customer's point of view, and what is it that they want, what problem can you solve that they have. And that's obviously one of the main things that's made it so successful, is that you haven't thought about it from your point of view. You've stepped into their shoes because you were in their shoes, and you've given them the solution to their problems.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And all the way along, I've always thought about, what do my mums want? I admittedly, when I had my first son, I'm a very capable person. I always nail everything I set up to do. But
you're determined.
I am. Yeah. Yep, I'm focused and I just push through and do it. But when I had my first son, he had colic, severe colic. Breastfeeding wasn't easy. I couldn't express milk as easily as we expect it's going to happen.
No, I couldn't. My mum could.
I had all this pressure on myself to be this awesome mum. It's okay, I'm going to fly through this. And suddenly it wasn't like that. And I didn't have control of the situation because my son was crying all the time. It hurt to feed him and it was all quite horrible. But I went into quite a dark place. probably for the first 6 weeks, and I really struggled. And I turned to forums to connect with other mums because Facebook was so new. There wasn't really that connection, all those groups around like there are now. And I got this advice from other mums on on these forums, and they really helped me. So when I got to a point where we had, say, 5,000 fans, all the mums started to write onto the wall and asking this advice. How do I get my 3-year-old to do this? My baby won't settle. What do I do to, stop these leg cramps while I'm pregnant and so forth? Yeah. And I remembered how that had been for me. And so all along it's been about, I know how valuable that connection is and that advice. And that's been the driver because I've been there, and I guess it really resonates with me at how powerful it is. So that's been the big constant through everything we've done, is about that genuine connection, the safe place. Authenticity is key, and that's where, Mum Central, her motto is real women, real life. There's no, as I call it, plastic fantastic. It's all about being authentic, being real, and having values. We don't do controversial topics because I just don't think in our community that benefits anyone, and we won't stir the pot, but we will certainly let them have their say and their point of view. So I guess that really helps to build the security and the safety of the mums feel of being a part in our community.
Excellent. Now, in the setup of your business, you've got a free website that you started with. I know it costs a lot of time and a lot of money to set up something, especially the sort of site that you've got. It's not a simple WordPress blog or anything like that. So when in the initial stages of setup, can you just explain what help you had, especially sort of like along the financial side? Did you have to fund it all yourself, or what systems were in place to help you?
So after starting on Facebook, 6 weeks later, I went back to full-time work. So it was a juggling act, let's just say, at the very start. And I realised very quickly that Facebook was great at growing our community, but I needed some strength and I needed some stability, and I needed to own what I was creating. So I worked with, I reached out to my friends for recommendations on web developers and met with a few, and actually chose a local Adelaide developer to help me to create the site. I took money off my mortgage. I allocated $5,000 for my first site. And it was a WordPress site with a classifieds plugin, so I went really basic, to dip my toe in the water, and use that money towards the development of the site and some SEO to get started. And left that to them. But WordPress is so fabulous that you don't need to be a techie to be able to work in the back end and manage and create and so forth. So that was great for me. If you type an email
or copy and paste, then you can use WordPress.
Highly
recommend it.
WordPress
Plus,
is awesome.
The search engines love it.
Love it. Yeah, that's right. And that's where I started. And Mum Central is a WordPress site as well. And again, I just think it's really good to have easy to use back end. I did go down the path when we went national of getting a bespoke site created, but I scrapped it because it just kept breaking. I used a developer overseas and had someone project manage it for me because I wasn't really confident about going overseas with developers, but it's a lesson. It was a lesson I learned, and I just went back to simple, and simple works best for us with the classifieds. It's been, those journeys that you go through as part of your lessons in business, and you go, okay, lesson learnt, won't do that again.
Oh, how much money have I just spent on that thing? Hang on, what value did you get out of it? It didn't work, but there's a huge amount of value that really steps you forward for where you're going to go in the future.
Yeah.
So along those lines then, you've gone from having your first son, setting up these websites and what have you. What kept you going? Did you have any mentors or any coaches to help you along the way?
Sure, yep. So probably right when I just started developing the second site, I was on maternity leave with my second son and was developing the second site to go national. And this is when we're developing the offshore version.
All right.
And anyway, I learned about this program called the ANZ Innovise Start. It's a tech accelerator program for startups So you're either software, technology, or web, and I was web. And
For people who are outside of Australia or New Zealand, ANZ is Australia New Zealand Bank. So obviously, I would imagine that banks all around the world would have similar sort of setups or programs in place. So go and check it out.
Yeah, so they were the major sponsor of the program, and it's all about, I guess, encouraging entrepreneurship in Adelaide. And there was 137 companies from 17 countries who applied for the program. I was fortunate enough to be accepted in as one of the 10 companies that were selected. And so for the next 12 weeks, we had mentors fly in from around the world who sat down with us and kind of pulled the business apart and looked at every element of the business, poked and prodded, and helped me to really focus on my exit strategy, my bigger picture, and how to expand my business. And it was probably 12 of the most incredible weeks of my business career, and really changed the game for me as a business owner, and also as an entrepreneur, and opened my eyes as to where the bigger picture lied. But some of those mentors I've kept contact with as well, which has really helped me to grow my business over time. I also did have a business coach before that. I got to the point where there was a lot of firsts, and I was heading into unknown territory, and I really needed to, have the guidance of someone who could help me get through the challenges I was dealing with and guide me so I didn't make mistakes, because I found that I was slowing down my growth because I was making mistakes or not going from A to B. I was, like they say, you're kind of weaving a lot.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get there faster because I'm an impatient person. And my coach was incredible to help me get through the challenges and really stretch my thinking. And I certainly wouldn't have been where I was if it wasn't for having her on board as part of my team.
That's
as I look at it.
Yeah. And we've done, both of us have done quite well. I think you've probably almost finished a Quantum Leap program, but because of time and what have you, there's a few courses I couldn't do. We've got one coming up next year. But is there anything that was within that as well that's really helped you to get a clearer picture on your direction, or even just little snippets that help you focus on what you're doing?
Yeah. I think that the warrior camp that we did in Malaysia was a big game changer for me. I guess I was doubting myself because I was just heading into unknown territory. We were growing so fast and there's a lot of pressure, and you sort of start thinking, am I doing the right thing? And warrior camp personally grew me to a point where I got such incredible confidence back, and my leadership style really developed, and that's helped me to kind of have the guts to go, right, let's do this and do it, and we do it fast. So that's been incredible. And also just some of the marketing, a lot of the marketing ideas I've put into play as well, which has certainly helped us. Essentially, we have our communities which are free for our mums, so we sell advertising to brands that want to connect with our mums through our community. So that's helped me with the strategies for the brands and also ways to get the brands on board. So, that's been a game changer for us as well.
Fantastic. Now then, you've just had something really exciting happening over the last few months, culminating in, I'll let you talk about it. It was just, Belinda was nominated for Osmompreneur of the Year Award, and so was it Sydney that?
Melbourne.
So she was all frocked up and went down to the awards ceremony down in Melbourne. And it was really interesting, watching, the progress as you went through one round and then into the next. So so exciting. Just
I was nominated for 2 categories: the Osmompreneur of the Year, and also for the Service Award category. And so the Service Award category, I mean.
Oh, sorry. I thought it had stopped